got 32,000 population, so most of the time we're pulling 8 stalks, usually is what we pull off of theirs.
Okay.
For this, all ours will pull 9, because now that when we get to the 43,000, we'll probably pull 10 or 11 on those to make those match up.
If you wanted to be absolutely scientific, you know, you'd measure 17 feet 5 inches, and maybe cut every one of those stalks, and then you'd be only, you know, 1/1000th of an acre rather than 1/4000. But you know, that's a lot of material and a lot of weighing.
Who can hold that up?
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to get it regardless. So, like he said, if you do it the same every time, you can compare against each other.
And that is only, the weight is only going to affect pounds of milk per acre. Pounds of milk per ton gets determined by this, what's in here. So the weight is only used for that. We like to compare it, it gives us an idea, because if you have pounds of milk per acre, if you're getting more pounds of milk per acre on one variety versus another, you're better off to plant that, because you don't have to plant as many acres of that. Now I can plant those other acres either in grain corn or soybeans or whatever I want. So that's why we like to put the weights in. It just gives us a good idea of where that is. Normally, if we don't know the guy's population, we'll measure out 17.5 feet. We'll count it. I just know what our population is, so I don't worry too much about it. But well, I know what ours is. So I know we need 9 stalks, so I get 9 stalks, and then we just put these underneath. All right, that's about, it was at 9, so it's about 15 pounds roughly. So we would say that's about probably close to 30 tons. I'd say 28 to 30 tons. If you notice how close I cut to the ground, a lot of guys don't chop that low. I always go low because I know our stalk at the bottom is digestible, so I go ahead and cut it anyway. Now we'll start this thing up. We'll run 3 or 4 stalks through. So normally I would recommend modified these a little bit so that they're more like what a regular chopper is.
Okay. In a perfect world, we'd have the kernel processor and all that stuff, but
yeah, but we don't have it.
This gets us as
close as we can. You can see, and it pretty well mixes it all in. Usually, if you push it together and it stays. See, I'd say it's getting pretty close.
All the kernels are nicely smashed even without a processor. With that small load, the cobs are destroyed. We're going to get a good sample from this.
See, it's still kind of staying together, so it's just a little wet yet. But with the rain last night, you know, and the rains before, I'm not surprised. But that's what we would do then. We would pull a sample. I'd try to get 2 or 3 hands full from different places, mix it together, put that in a freezer bag, and then we send it to the lab. And then that's how it'll get done. We'll dump it, and then usually I just give those stalks back to the farmer, and the only reason I take them is just so we get a weight on it. You can do it without a weight, but...
So do you guys want to explain again the reason for 9?
The reason that we use 9 stalks here, my population is about 35 to 36,000, and I want 1/4000th of an acre, so that in 17.5 feet I would have counted about 35 to 36 stalks. So what I did is I divided that by 4, come up with 9. It's either 8 3/4 or 9, so I just picked 9. So as long as through that plot I pick 9 out every time, it's going to be the same for all of them. And then when I weigh that, whatever that weight is, I just double it, and that's what the tonnage is going to be, because we picked 1/4000th of an acre.
So in theory, you'd multiply it times 4,000, which would have been 60, which makes 30 tons.
Right, and that's how that comes out. It just makes real easy math. So whatever I read off the scale, I know I just double it, and that's my tonnage. And then we've got a silage book, then it's got all of our tests. We test probably 1,000 hybrids probably a year, or 1,000 samples get sent in over a year's time.
Across our platform,
Yeah.
from Ohio to New York, to Pennsylvania, Maryland.
Okay.
And that's kind of what separates our brand a little bit, is I don't believe anyone else tests that much silage as we do in the ground from our local growers. It's
Yeah.
not just test plot stuff, it's actual local data planted by private growers all across our territory.